So I do think elected officials are the only way to make really long-lasting change in our government, unfortunately. And so everyone go out and vote. Also, I think we need to get more people out running for office. I don't know how to really do that because it is so expensive and again, you really time consuming. So there's no way people with like a full-time job already can do that. You'd basically have to quit your job, which means you need a pile of cash. I think those are things that we just need to be aware of as like the underlying causes for all these issues. And then we can kind of navigate from there. But yeah, so that's kind of what's been going on in terms of some of the stuff that I've been observing. I live on the same block currently as a police station precinct, and so the block's been blocked off for the most part. Only residents are allowed through onto the street. They've stopped most traffic, although it started up again, but they're letting cars through like one at a time and sort of checking them and making sure they're okay before like letting them go through. So it's a crazy time all in all, and I mean, I think it's understandable just given the circumstances and everything that's been going around the country. And New York has always been sort of the hub of a lot of these issues because it is a very diverse population and it is such a dense city. And so when you get movements like this, you know, it's just there's so many people in a cramped area, which means you naturally get more involvement and like more people showing up for things. But it is also kind of an interesting time to see. I will note, like, so some of the looting has been unfortunate to see, and I've been getting more notifications on my Citizen app about like crime in the area. I did note that like Saks, interestingly, had really severely boarded up their windows with like barbed wire, and they have like 20 men wearing security shirts circling around the perimeter, which makes sense because Saks has a lot of valuables. So that was kind of interesting, I guess, to like, you know, see in person. So I think otherwise most residents, like, it is still fairly quiet during the day. I haven't really gone out. I think the streets are still, they're getting busier with the reopening, but it's still generally sparse, which is good because people are being cautious. People are wearing masks for the most part, although not everyone, which is a little bit annoying. Like, I wish there was more mandatory sort of mask wearing in public besides just in grocery stores. But I think we have a lot of room to improve in terms of our policies as well as how we're handling the situation. The day before the movers come, I'm so stressed. As you can tell, there's a lot of stuff going on, and you don't realize how much stuff you have to do last minute, like your shower curtain, your dishes, until you're there. And I wish I'd taken today off because I'm technically supposed to be working too, and it's been a lot. Now I have to go talk to a police station because they are on my street and they've been blocking off the street from vehicles entering, so I'm hoping we can figure something out for tomorrow with the movers. Anyways, that's the update. Moving is done now. Just got all the stuff in the storage unit. About the Easy Pass disaster?
Sure.
So we had an Easy Pass disaster because I've never used it before. If you look over here, if you ever get a rental car, just be aware you gotta pull that shit out, which I didn't realize at the time. So yeah, I made that mistake. No tag was red, so see if the company charges us. But we're going to try to contest it, so yeah. Otherwise, this morning was a pain. We started a few hours late. We packed a lot of shit. See everything we have in this Dodge Caravan. So managed to fit a lot of stuff in, which is good. And now we're just driving on down. Have about a 7-hour drive to get to North Carolina. Let me keep talking. So the Lincoln Turnpike, I will say, was also very stressful to get through. That was probably the worst of it, was getting out of the city, which is also when we made the Easy Pass mistake, because obviously that's a Easy Pass location. But now the highway is pretty straightforward, pretty easy. You can take a pan of the highway here. It's a classic 2-lane highway. And I think it'll be like this for the next 6 hours. So, yeah. See you when we get there. Hello. So made it to my family's home, specifically my mom's, as that's where I will be staying for at least the summer and however long until the office reopens. It's nice to be in a house versus a small apartment, and so this is the room I'm staying in, and yeah, not too much else to update, but I will keep you posted. Let me take a vid real quick. How do you feel about having the Olive Garden?
It's good.
We're here in the suburbs now.
You're so cute too.
Yeah, looks really good. We had our first dine-in experience since the crisis at the Olive Garden in a suburb, and it was pretty pleasantly surprised, actually. It's like really well managed. It wasn't crowded, although we went for dinner at like 3:30, so it wasn't busy time anyways, but they are seating people every other booth. There's like markers outside for people to stand in line, and then the nice thing about suburban restaurants, I guess, is they already have a lot of space, so it feels like they don't have to cut back too much, but still like be able to maintain guest distance. And the food was so good. I really missed Olive Garden.